Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. Alrighty, so you guys are going to see this episode in succession to the last episode. That's how that works, right? But what I mean is that you're going to see this one a day after yesterday's episode. But I recorded that episode about a week ago, so it's been another week since I've played Isaac. And once again, I'm a little rusty, but I'm trying to get back on the right track, and I have the full intention to record at least a few Isaac episodes here, right here and now. So we'll see how that goes. But I haven't done a whole lot of recording recently, and it's fun to do. I forgot how fun it is to sit here and talk into a microphone, essentially to myself, but acting like I'm talking to other people in real time, But it's fun. It's good. It's a good time. I've had a lot going on lately, so I haven't been able to find the time necessarily to record anything, but I have a little bit of time here, and I'm trying to get back into the swing of things and give myself enough of a backlog and a buffer so that when I do get the time again to record, you guys aren't missing out on that sweet content. It's what I'm trying to go for. Whether or not I accomplish that is an entirely different story, and frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if I was unable to accomplish that goal. But holy shit, we are close to death here. But it's worth trying at the very least, and that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna try to get this done and to make things easier on myself. Alright, so we got the experimental stat reshuffle that gave us a damage increase, a rate of fire increase, and maybe some other effects, and we lost a red heart container. Why did I come back? I shouldn't have come back. So not terrible, but the health decrease isn't necessarily great, but we can work with it. Not a problem. But regardless, of everything that I've been talking about here, it's good to be back. I am happy to be back. Not going to lie, I haven't had the greatest past week in particular, but the past couple of weeks have been rough in a couple of different ways that I am obviously not going to get into, because that's private information. I'm going to keep that for myself, but I am trying to bounce back here and make content again, because it makes me happy, and hopefully it makes you happy as well. If not, then well, you're watching, and that's all that matters to me. No, but yeah, I'm trying to think of stuff that's happened in the past couple of weeks that I could really talk about. There is a lot that's happened, obviously. A couple of weeks is a lot of time in the grand scheme of things, but I don't know if there's anything notable, worth talking about that I want to share an opinion on or something. I'm trying to think. Give me a moment. I don't want that. Yeah, sure. Actually, I don't know if that was a good idea to take that. You know what? I took it already. Doesn't matter at this point. But trying to think. I still haven't seen Us, which I've been meaning to. I've been talking about it. I don't know if I've been talking about it in videos necessarily, but I've been talking about it for the past couple of weeks. I'm like, I really want to see Us, and I have not gotten around to it. And part of the reason is because I don't want to pay $10 to go see a movie, It's a little discouraging, and $10, not a whole lot of money, but for a movie ticket, in my opinion, that's a lot of money, and it kind of discourages me from going to see anything, because it's like, am I really gonna spend like $10 to go see a movie that I don't even have a strong desire to see to begin with? That's kind of like where my logic is at the moment. Obviously, for movies that I really want to see, I will shell out the $10 for it. But Us isn't a movie that I'm particularly like dying to see. So, I can wait for it to come out on like YouTube or Netflix or whatever it's gonna come out on. I can wait. And what else was I gonna say? Movies that I would shell out for, I think, absolutely Toy Story 4 when that comes out. I love me some animated films when they are good. And those are not necessarily hard to come by, but they seem a little few and far between at times. I don't know what chaos does, actually. I thought that was a compass. And I remembered that the compass is an entirely different looking item. But anyway, Toy Story, it's one of those movies that, you're going to hear everybody talking about for at least like a week or two or something like that when it's finally coming down to it being released. And, so I'm trying to get the conversation in on about it now, because you're going to hear a lot about it at that time. But that is absolutely a movie that I am going to shell out money to go see. Trying to think, anything else coming out this year that I'm really excited or dying to see. I'm not going to go see Avengers Endgame because I have not been following the MCU. And frankly, I don't care, all that much. If you're into that, if you like it, that's more power to you. But it's not that I don't have a particular fondness of the MCU. I've seen a couple Marvel movies, and they're good. But I don't have a particularly strong motivation to see any one of the newer movies that have come out, And I've kind of fallen behind. And once you've fallen behind, there isn't really nearly as much motivation to try and catch up. I forgot I don't have any bombs. But, we'll see. Maybe when all the fanfare dies down, I can get into it potentially. But we'll see. It's not something that I'm really consciously thinking about a whole lot. If I do decide to get back into it and to try and catch up on everything, it'll probably be a spur of the moment decision. And that's kind of how it was, and kind of how it is for the Star Wars movies as well. Because I haven't seen a single Star Wars movie ever, and I have a box set of I think like the first 6 movies. Now I've been meaning to watch them for the past couple of years now, but I keep putting it off for whatever reason. And so like, I'm behind on that, but I don't really have as much motivation to start watching that either. But it's something that, you know, again, if I decide to start watching, it'll be a spur of the moment kind of thing. But we'll see. We shall see. I'm not going to really think about it all that much. I know that they just announced, was it today or was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. Yesterday for me. They announced The Rise of Skywalker, which is the last movie either in this trilogy or the last Star Wars movie, although it's hard for me to imagine that this is the last Star Wars movie because it's a cash cow for Disney, but who knows? I obviously haven't been paying much attention, so, you know, I don't really know. I'm pretty sure this is like the last movie for this trilogy, and then they'll start a new trilogy or something, but we'll see, you know. But I know that they just came out with that, and people don't like the name. I think that's been like the big criticism I've seen so far, because the trailer came out too. You know, not just the name of the movie, but the trailer for it too. And I think people are kind of like upset about the name. Granted, you know, from what I've noticed, and don't berate me for this, okay? But from what I've noticed, Star Wars fans just like to get upset about anything, you know? They'll find anything to get upset about. That is what I have noticed. Now, whether or not that is a fair criticism, whether or not it's an unfair criticism, you know, I mean, I don't know. That's just what I've noticed. But it seems like there is always something that they are upset about, and I know next to nothing about Star Wars lore, you know, et cetera, but it just seems like there's always something, you know, and it's kind of like you really gotta find something wrong with everything, you know, like, can't you just enjoy the movies? It's a very, you know, ignorant take. I'm well aware of that, but it's just like, I just don't understand it, you know, like, in my eyes, you know, the Star Wars movies aren't meant to be these films that, you know, that have like this deep, rich lore that you need to fully understand to have an understanding of where the story is going to go in the future. Although I know some people treat it that way. You know, in my eyes, they're kind of just like fun, not kids movies, but movies that people of all ages can just enjoy. You know, that's really the interpretation that I have of those movies. And so when people getting so bent out of shape about this or that, you know, with them, it's kind of like, don't really understand it. But granted, I'm coming from a place of ignorance and from a place of just not knowing, so, you know, we'll see. I know that, I think I'm trying to think of what the general consensus has been on the two recent movies that have come out. You know, 7 and 8. I know there was Rogue One too, but I'm not really referring to that as much. And I think the consensus is that they're not good, but could be wrong. I don't really know. So I guess we'll see what happens with this the 9th film. Not that I really care, at least right now, but we'll see. No, I can't afford anything in there. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. Probably wasn't going to be all that important in the grand scheme of things, but yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. You know, people are into Star Wars, you know, to that degree. I think that's perfectly fine. It's just that at the same time, I don't understand the absolute, you know, how or how upset people get over I don't know, the decisions they make. But at the same time, I do understand, you know, because like there have been movies that I've seen before where, there are franchises that I really care about, movie franchises. Are there actually? I don't know if there's any movie franchise out there that I'm real, you know, attached to the point where I'm gonna be upset with decisions that they make, and I know all the lore and whatever. I don't think there's a franchise out there that fits that bill for me. You know, I like movies, don't get me wrong. There are movies that I have enjoyed in the past. I do have some favorite movies, but I don't think there's a franchise where I've felt that way. But kind of in the same vein, you know, there have been movies that I've gone to see, you know, and I've criticized, you know, and I'm like, well, why'd you make that decision? Why'd you do this instead of doing that? You know, you should have listened to me, you know, a person with no screenwriting, directing experience, instead of, you know, the people around you that have that experience, you know. But, you know, like the point being that I've criticized movies before, you know, and I think everybody has. But, and so in that sense, I do understand the kind of, you know, criticism that people give, you know, the most recent Star Wars movies, you know, because it's like, not only are you that attached to something, you know, something that to something like that, but they're movies as well, and movies are prone to be getting prone to receiving criticism. You know, any movie is going to receive criticism one way or another, and those movies are no different. So I do understand it, but at the same time, I'm like, you know, is it really that big of a deal? But obviously it is to people. And, you know, I'm not going to fault them for that at all. I want that. We're going to try and get that. We're going to try and get that. Whether or not we will, I don't know. Probably not going to happen, to be honest. I don't even know if I'm going to survive this floor, but we'll see. If I could, that'd be really nice. You know what? I didn't blow up the things in the arcade. Those have the opportunity to give me those sweet, sweet coins. Okay, I'll travel all the way back. But, yeah, you know, I mean, that's all I have to say about that. Like, I don't have much more of an opinion regarding that, you know. I was going to say something else. I don't know. It left my mind. But we did get enough coins to get ceremonial robes, which is really nice. And for that, I am happy. Run is not looking too great right now, if I'm being honest with myself. You know, we're trying for sure, but I don't know if I am too confident in where we're at. I also don't think I went to find my item room. Yeah, I didn't. So, I am a fool. But, yeah, I don't know. You know, I actually, I wasn't anticipating this being the mom fight. I thought we were one floor away from that. But, as it turns out, it totally is the mom fight, and I'm kind of boned. Because I don't think I'll be able to leave this room and try and go back to my item room. Which, not a big deal, but kind of unfortunate and kind of a dumb mistake on my part. I'm trying to charge up brimstone and I can't. There we go. So we get the Polaroid. I forgot that I have Krampus head, which would have helped me out there. I don't think anything is worth going through. Yeah, and I can't leave, which is very unfortunate. So I guess I'll move on. Statistically, we're not doing too great. You know, could be doing better in that department. But I think, you know, contrary to what I was just saying, okay, well, you know, that kind of doesn't help our case here, but I don't think we're in that terrible of a spot. I think we're not in a great spot at all. But I think, you know, if I put my mind to it, we can come out with a W here. Maybe, you know, I mean, like, this has not gone well at all. So, why did I do that? What? I'm just gonna chalk it up to being rusty. I'm just gonna blame it on that and then pretend that I don't have to deal with any of my problems. Oh god. Yeah, but we're in a very bad spot, and I don't think I'm going to be able to make it out, to be honest. But that's okay, you know? I mean, we made it this far. Fuck it. It didn't work. Why didn't it work? Excuse me. I thought that was going to re-roll my run. But, fuck me, I guess, you know. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Jesus Christ, I hate these enemies. I hate this floor. Oh god. Oh, Jesus Christ, I hate it. I'm one hit away. Okay, alright. Well, here we go. And there we go. Alright, so not a great start, but also not a terrible start, you know? And when I say start, I mean getting back into the swing of things here. You know, I think we're good. I think we've got this. Got to shake off the rust a little bit, get back into the swing of things, and we'll be just fine and dandy going forward. Hopefully, maybe. But anyway, with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this episode of The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus, let me know down in the comments section below. Like the video and share with your friends. It lets me know you want to see more of any game shows I do here on the channel. The link down to the game is in the description box below if you want to pick it up for yourself. Subscribe to my channel for more gaming content. I play all sorts of games on my channel. Thank you guys very much for watching. Love you very much, and I will talk to you later.